My name's Nic Watt, and I'm the creative director and CEO of No, which is a small games company recently founded in Sydney. So our first game has come out on Wii and now the iPhone, and I'm just going to briefly talk kind of the steps we took to develop and make sure that we made the best use of the iPhone and made sure that we kind of satisfied consumers' needs and expectations on the iPhone. So the first thing you've got to consider when making a game or an application for the iPhone is that it's obviously not just a games device, it's a phone. It's also an iPod, so it can play video and play songs. It can also surf the internet, and obviously people can also play games on it. So for our game, we had to take that into consideration because people might maybe want to answer their phone, or they might want to listen to music, or they might want to go and play a video either before or during a gameplay session of our game. So what we've done is we tried to divide it into small chunks that anyone can kind of pick up and play for a couple of minutes, and also have plenty of modes that have got some depth so that you can spend a while playing them if you want. So if you've got a longer play session, you can sit there and play and get into it. But if you've only maybe got 5 minutes waiting for the ferry, or while your other half's in a shop buying some shoes or new clothes or whatever, that you can sit there and have a shot. Because pop is about, its simplest level is about popping bubbles, we tried to really focus on making the aspect of popping bubbles really satisfying. So using the graphics technology of the iPhone, what happens is when you pop a bubble, you get a really nice effect of little particles, of smaller bubbles coming out. You get a little ripple to suggest that the bubble's expanded and popped out, and the bubbles around it also expand kind of with physics to suggest that there's a bit of force that's pushing them about. We also have some noise sound effects, and depending on the size of bubble, you'll get a different, either louder or quieter sound playing. Then moving on, what we've added in is this pumping up mechanic, so you can click and hold on a bubble, and if you shake it up and down, it'll grow bigger and bigger and bigger, and when you release it, it'll detonate and destroy other bubbles around it. So those two things are quite simple, and they're the sort of things that you start to get into the game. And then we added power-ups, so by making different use of the different types of power-ups, so for example, in the third picture there's a skull power-up, which is a bad one. If you pop that, it will take away some of your points and also take away some of your time. And then the other one that's kind of like a spiral, if you pop that, it'll slow down the bubbles and allows you to pop a little bit quicker. And then finally, one of the ways we added longevity to the game was having badges. So as you play it, you accomplish certain tasks and you'll get rewarded with a badge, which you can view the list. And then you can see, oh right, there's other badges I can unlock. Maybe I can do this, and I'll try and do that next time on the bus or I'm on the ferry. Something that I think is really important to make use of is all the little features of the iPhone. Because people are used to the fact that it's a phone and it's a media player, that we have to make sure that we accommodate for all of that. So we've really worked hard to try and make sure that it makes use of all those features and that our users don't become frustrated. So for example, the iPhone can vibrate. So when we pump up a big bubble and detonate it, it will use the vibration function, and so you'll get a little bit of a rumble. And we've also made the screen jitter a little bit, just so you get that nice user feedback. Something that I personally feel is really important is because you can get a phone call, or you might have to stop using the application for any real-life interruptions. What we do is we use a feature called eye saving, which a lot of the good games use. So anytime you press the home button and leave the application or answer a call, we actually save exactly where you are. So next time you launch the game, you come back and you can just resume straight where you left off. And then we've also integrated with all the audio systems on the iPhone. So if you're listening to music and you're listening to your iPod and you're walking along and you decide you want to play our game, we don't kill the iPod for you. We just keep the music playing and we switch off our game music, so we detect that. Finally, we've added an email functionality, so you can send emails from the application to your friends, basically saying, I know I've got a really good score and I've collected 22 badges, do you reckon you can do better? And they'll receive that and they can then either download the application or try and compete with you. We've just recently added in some Facebook functionality. So what that allows you to do is at the end of a game, or when you collect badges, or from the front end, you can connect your Facebook account and you can upload your score and how many badges and things you've unlocked, so that all your friends on Facebook can go online and they can see your progress in the game, and then perhaps they might either be prompted to buy the game, or if they've got it already, they can start competing against you. I've also put this slide together just to show you some other notable games that are on the iPhone. Hopefully you can see all of this, but in the top left-hand corner, there's a game called Rolando, which makes use of the tilt functionality in the iPhone, and it's quite a nice side-scrolling adventure game. The next one along is a really good game called Edge, and you control this little cube, and you can, by touching on the screen and moving, you can move it around and try and get from the start of a level to the end. It's quite a puzzle sort of game. It's really nice. So there's quite a really good wide spectrum of games, and most of the decent games should cost you a couple of dollars, and most of them offer, say, some light versions, which are kind of free samples. You can see them on the right-hand slide there. So that's it for me.